Okay guys, so I'm here with another video, and I just want to say that it is countdown time until election day. It is 40 days until election day. 40 days, that's all we have, guys, okay? So I'm actually going to do a fast. I want God to be involved in this decision, and I want Trump to get what is best. I want the American people to get what is best. So I'm going to be giving up meat for the next 40 days. And I encourage anyone who is a Christian or who believes in attracting good vibes to do something that promotes what would be good on November 3rd to take place, and to challenge yourself to do that activity for the next 40 days. Whether that's reaching out to a friend and talking to them about just what's trending and just getting their opinion and helping them have access to different ideas, different perspectives. Because if they're living in an echo chamber, they can only really have one opinion. And it's our responsibility to help other people understand what the truth actually is. And even if we're struggling trying to figure that out, we still have a responsibility to help other people have access to what we know and to where they can get their information from additional sources than just one particular platform. And that's not all you need to do. Obviously, just share your opinion. Like, share your opinion with the world. Do what I'm doing. Talk to people on social media. Express yourself. It's not about swaying people one way or another. That's what campaigners are supposed to do. But if you're going to be an American, you have to start with actually being an American. And that means embracing your rights. And if you feel like something is crazy or needs to be challenged, then challenge the crazy. That's kind of what you're put here to do, okay? Not saying everybody should start throwing jackhammers at each other, but Jefferson was right. Like, you literally won't have a functional society if everybody just is complacent and says, okay, we're just going to do this until it doesn't work. That's not right. So for the next 40 days, be proactive, be productive, be constructive, be an American, and represent your values in a constructive manner, okay? And bring good energy, good vibes. And if you're a Christian, bring the support of God into this election so that His hand is on the ballots that go in and are cast. And He ultimately is a determinant of who will win this election. And He is a person who's taking this country in the direction that it needs to go. So make sure you're getting His attention when it comes to selecting the next president of the United States. And it is 40 days until the election. I really also want to challenge you guys to brag about what makes you excited to be an American, okay? And as cheesy as that sounds, there's really something to that. And I think that our president opened a Pandora's box for the world, but not for Americans. If anything, he closed Pandora's box for Americans. And I think the silence from the chaos is what got all of our attention, and we just couldn't believe how nice things could actually be. Now, granted, if you're living in one of those crazy areas where people are literally run amok, I can understand why you don't think that putting order is really peaceful. But just bear with me for a minute. If you are a farmer, if you are a trader, these are people we don't really hear much about in the media. We don't hear about the people who make our food. We don't hear about the people who bring items into our country. But they have had such a noose taken off of their necks with the regulations that this president has placed on countries like China, on countries that are taxing us ridiculously for trade or pressuring our votes for purchases, for money. We pushed all that back, and that kind of release allowed our merchants to breathe, and it allowed them to really do what they do best. And that economic relief also enabled other areas, whatever they were using, the 18-wheeler trucking system, the seed productions, the supermarkets, everyone was buying their food. Now they don't have to be pressured to cover insurmountable amounts of money that was being placed on regular merchant items because places like China were taxing us so much. They don't have to put that into the equation of their sales, and then that loosens things up for everybody. Food prices go down. So it's amazing how this works, and it's unfortunate that we don't know all the in and outs of these things. But the people who do know the ins and outs of these things have a responsibility to make them work better, and that's exactly what Trump has been doing. And I think he's kind of just getting started, so it would be really unfair to not see how much more peace can come from assessing the issues in our country and really allowing them to mend. I mean, maybe the cultural hype wasn't where we wanted it to be during the last 3 years, but the economic stability that we needed from the previous 8 years under the Obama-Biden administration, there's just no comparison, okay? So whether we need a businessman in the office or not, is something to consider. And quite frankly, everyone's a lot happier when there's more money. Honestly, I feel like it's a top-down effect. I feel like if we were to reverse this and just ask the common person what they really wanted, they're not going to say that I want a non-racist president. They're just not going to say that. They're going to say, I want to make sure my children go to good schools. They're going to say, I want to make sure that I can get a job and my company can provide me with a retirement. They're going to say, I want to make sure that when I am engaging with a professor at school, that he's not going to flunk me just because of my Christian values. And that's something that this president is supporting. Also, if you're an American, you have the right to free speech, okay? And anyone who tells you otherwise is not an American, because the Constitution says you have a right to free speech, all right? It is incredibly eerie at how few countries allow that. At this point, I literally think we are the only one. You want to let that go? Don't let that go. So I'm challenging you to be an American, okay? You want to speak? Speak. You want to push an idea? Push an idea. Don't hold back and don't allow other people to be American and tell you to not be an American. And don't allow people to use the label of being an American to be anti-American. Free speech doesn't mean burning down buildings. Free speech means being able to talk about stuff and not being censored. Being an American means being free. Being American means your politicians are leaders. They are not parents. They are not dictators. They are organizers. And what are they organizing? The values of the American people. And what are the values of the American people? We have no clue, because the American people will not speak. But let me tell you something. The American people are going to these Trump rallies. 40 days, guys. I want to be an American on November the 4th. Not any other country besides. We need to keep America, America. It is not bad to be able to talk about your values. And free speech is just that. Free speech. Don't let people take that away from you. It is very, very difficult to get that back. I have so much more to say, guys. But I hope you guys take this challenge. Like, maybe we get something trending, like hashtag 40 days. Hashtag 40 days for Trump. I have no idea. And it has nothing to do per se with the election, but I want people to know that if they want to embrace their values as an American, this might be something they need to think about. Because I don't see anyone else fighting for traditional American values. Where else are we going to go? Come on, let's actually do that. Let's just get that trending, okay? Hashtag 40 days for Trump. Legit. And do something cool. Do something cool to brag about why it is hot to be an American citizen. Okay? Post it on social media. Let other people see why you're proud to be a traditional American. The progressives do it. Why aren't we bragging about being awesome in a state where we can talk about whatever the heck we want to talk about without being thrown in jail, without having to check around our shoulders, without being worried about police, and defend ourselves if things turn that way. The right to bear arms, the right to free speech, the right to fair trial, these are American values, and they are being challenged right now. And it's up to us to do something about it. And I think we have the guts to do that. So hashtag 40 days for Trump, hashtag 40 days to the election, hashtag 40 days. Let's get this going, guys. I'll talk to you later.